Hey, welcome back to the Stebbins Garage YouTube channel. In our last video, we got my K-member in, finally. Everything looks fantastic. Today I'm gonna focus on getting this thing to be a roller. There are no springs, so we're gonna get those in. I've got a bunch of other random stuff that we need to do, and I'm not exactly sure which direction I'm gonna go, so stick around and find out. Now here we have the front coil spring. This is for a V6 engine. I'm not gonna be running these in the car once it's swapped, but I do need a way, because right now I have Bluetooth springs, I do need a way to be able to suspend the car, at least in its current form. So I'm gonna actually cut these so that they're easier to get installed. It shouldn't matter at all as far as rolling the car around or anything like that, and then I'll decide on a set of springs before we do the engine swap. So I'm gonna take these outside, cut off a whole coil. That'll shorten them enough to where I can get them in there without being too dangerous, and it should suspend the car so I can roll it around. Okay, well, one coil probably isn't enough. I'm trying to put the coil spring back in, and the car's lifting up off the lift before I can even get this thing compressed. So I'm gonna go ahead and take another half coil out. I mean, if there's that much tension on it, it shouldn't really be a big deal. I obviously can't put an engine in here and run it that way, but just to be able to move it around, that's what I'm gonna do. You don't need to see that, so I'll just come back and it'll be cut. And there it is. Half coil. It should go in there just fine and suspend the car. That's all I need it to do. I have these brake caliper hose brackets off the car. I also have the bolts. They're nice and crusty on both sides. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw these in the blast cabinet, get all that crap off and clean them up. Those brackets are all cleaned up, bolts, everything. This is just a satin fusion paint. We'll let that dry, put one more coat on, we're good. So everything's back together, the springs are in. May have almost died, but whatever. Next I'm gonna put my gunny wheels back on so we can put the car down and see what it looks like. This is the driver's side lower splash shield. It's part of the ground effects Typically these are broken on the 91, 92 Firebirds for some reason. You can see that one's got some scuffs. It goes basically right, just like that. There's a couple ways to repair this. What I'm gonna do is actually make an aluminum panel and then rivet all that together and probably use some epoxy as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and trace that and then make a pattern and get that together. There's pieces missing here too, and I'll figure that out. I'm planning to build some kind of a diffuser for the front of this, so this will be part of that, but we're gonna go ahead and work on that. Here's what I got so far. Been using my swag bandsaw table. We've got everything marked here, so this is gonna go like this. The little dots are actually where I'm going to drill and then probably rivet. Then I'll drill on the other panel as well, and I gotta cut out that opening so you won't see any of this. I'm just gonna trim along here, and then I'll put it on the belt sander and clean everything up, make it nice. Here's the panel. This is gonna go behind here. Pretty much only you and I are even gonna know it's there other than seeing a few rivets. But I went ahead and cleaned it up a little bit on the belt sander. I used my belt file for part of it, and it's not 100%, but we'll clean those marks off. Get this riveted in on here, and then riveted in on the car, and that will be good. Then I'll worry about this other part here later. I can build something there. Okay, front sway bar. A little problem with these bushings that I got. This 36mm sway bar, the bushings are hard to find. The ones that I got, you can see they stick way up. So when I put this up here, there's a good sized gap. And I probably could just use a spacer, but I'd have to have a big spacer. So I'm gonna address that. All right, so I have put that on the belt sander and taken off some of the bottom. Not a huge amount, but enough. And then I've also taken off some of the top. I still need to straighten it up and stuff. I'm just kind of testing right now. And then I have these spacers, and that will take up the rest of the room. So that'll go basically just like that between the frame. And then this will rest up against the frame, and that will take care of our problem. So I figured, I started working on it, I didn't record, and I thought somebody might run into this problem. This is with a 36mm WS6 front sway bar. So I'm gonna finish truing this up and all that stuff and do one more of these. I've got 4 of these total. They came with my my K-member, and I didn't need them, so perfect, we'll repurpose them. Don't say it. You just gotta get the super lube. Put it in there. You don't want your sway bar to be sticky or squeak or anything else. I know what you're thinking. He sure is doing a thorough job. Yes, I am. That's still kind of tight. Take that. Don't say it. Here you'll see we're missing this brace. We're not missing it, it's just not installed yet. I had to clean it up. We took this off when we were doing all the Raptor liner and stuff, and I went ahead and sandblasted it and painted it. So let's get that put on so that we can keep this fender from flopping around. On the other side, we have the same issue. However, I've added this 4th gen coolant tank, which is in the way. So I'm gonna have to actually make a fender brace to go to this point. There is one over there that will fit just fine. So let me get working on that. This is the fender brace for the passenger side where we need to make a change to it. I'm going to actually cut this part off right about here so that only the forward part is going to be left. And then I'm going to make a brace to go from here to this point, which will bend down and clear the coolant tank. I did that on Mike's car. It worked out really well. I'm just going to use some flat aluminum bar and bend that in my vise. So I'll get working on that. I'm not happy with this. I ran to Home Depot, got some 1/2 inch round aluminum bar. I'm gonna make it out of this. It'll make it a lot easier and it'll look better. And honestly, I just wasn't feeling the other one. So let's see what I can do with this. Oh, and don't tell my wife that I stole this hanger out of her closet. Are you wondering what I'm doing? I'm just going to use this wire to get the shape that I need, and then I'll bend the bigger piece. That's all. Okay, here's our wire form, I guess you'd call it. Looks really nice. So let's make that out of aluminum in 1/2 inch, and then we'll flatten each end so we have somewhere to drill. And I think that'll take care of it. So here is the form that I created out of that coat hanger that we're not going to tell my wife about. And we're pretty close here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this about here. That way I can put it on the car and do any final tweaks or whatever. I kind of want it to follow around that coolant tank, which is going to be, I think, here. And let's see what that looks like. Here's my fancy piece. It's not fancy yet. It's going to essentially go here like this. The blue dot is about where I expect the hole to be, and I will flatten that so that there's more surface area. You'll see in a second. And then right there where that green and blue dot would be, see how it follows the contour and then goes over to there? Yeah, I like that. So I'm gonna start by flattening this end. I'm just gonna take a mallet or something hard and tap that on the vise, get that flattened out so we got a place to put the hole. And then I might paint that just so it kind of blends in. I don't know, we'll see. So we're getting closer to the final product. I got the hole in the side that goes to the chassis. I still need to put it back up here and mark the hole for the fender side. And then we'll paint it and put it on. Fender brace is done. Ended up with a 1/2-inch piece of aluminum round bar, and I kind of massaged it in place, flattened it out, drilled some holes, and that's what I ended up with. Haven't decided if I want to paint it yet. I'll probably just paint it, even though it looks really cool. I'm really proud of that. But that's what it took. It took me way longer than it should have, but I'm happy with the overall result. Let me know what you think. Well, after all that, to get those bushings to fit, I still don't like them. Energy Suspension has these. These are 1 3/8", 36 millimeter. They fit the bar perfect. I got them from Hawks Performance. They're like 30 bucks shipped. So I'm just gonna swap them out. I don't know why I couldn't find them the first time, but we're gonna go ahead and swap those out for the Energy Suspension ones. Well, that was certainly a ton of work, and it took me way longer than I expected. We got our chrome sway bar, we got our springs in temporarily, we got the bushings in. I fixed the sway bar bushing fiasco. We fabbed up a fender mount, and I think I got a few other things done. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like button, and if you want to see more of this, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.